If you are over 60 and you have ever struggled to open a jar, fumbled with a button, or felt your hand simply give out while carrying a bag of groceries, I want you to know that what you experienced is not clumsiness, it is not carelessness, and it is not simply the unavoidable consequence of getting older. What you experienced is the result of a very specific and very addressable physical change happening in your hands and wrists. And today we are going to talk about exactly what that change is, why it happens, and what you can do about it starting right now, from the comfort of your own chair. Most people spend a great deal of time thinking about their legs, their back, their heart, and those things matter enormously. But the hands are the primary tools through which we interact with the world. They are how we feed ourselves, how we dress ourselves, how we hold the people we love, how we write, how we cook, how we open the door and turn the key and pour the morning coffee. When hand and wrist strength begins to decline, and research suggests it begins declining gradually as early as our 50s and accelerates into our 60s and beyond, the impact on daily independence is profound. Not dramatic, not sudden, but profound. Things that once required no thought at all begin to require effort, and effort over time can quietly become avoidance, and avoidance is where independence begins to erode. But here is what I want you to hold on to as we move through this together. Grip strength is trainable, wrist stability is trainable. The small intrinsic muscles of the hand, the tendons, the connective tissue, they all respond to movement. Gentle, consistent, targeted movement. And the 4 exercises we are going to walk through today are specifically designed for adults over 60. No equipment required beyond what you already have, no standing necessary, no gym membership, no special tools. Before we begin, a brief and important note. The information in this video is educational and informational in nature. It is not intended as medical advice, and it is not a substitute for the guidance of your healthcare provider. If you have existing conditions affecting your hands or wrists, arthritis, carpal tunnel syndrome, recent injury or surgery, please consult your doctor before beginning any new movement routine. What we share here is general wellness information, and you know your body best. Always listen to it. Find your chair. Sit comfortably toward the front edge of the seat with your feet flat on the floor and your back gently upright. Rest your forearms on your thighs, palms facing upward. Take one slow breath in through your nose and exhale gently through your mouth. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Let your jaw unclench. Let your fingers relax and uncurl slightly. This starting position matters because tension in the upper body, in the shoulders, the neck, the forearms, directly affects the muscles and tendons of the hand. We want to begin from a place of relative ease, not gripping. Now let me take a moment to explain what is actually happening in the aging hand, because understanding the mechanism makes the exercises feel purposeful rather than arbitrary. Inside your hand, there are over 29 joints, more than 30 muscles, some located in the hand itself, others in the forearm with long tendons running down through the wrist, and an intricate network of nerves and blood vessels that coordinate everything. As we age, several things happen simultaneously. The intrinsic muscles of the hand gradually lose mass and tone, a process called sarcopenia that affects all skeletal muscle but is particularly noticeable in the small muscles between the fingers and along the palm. The tendons become slightly less elastic and more prone to stiffness, particularly after periods of inactivity like sleep. The synovial fluid that lubricates the joints of the wrist and fingers may decrease in volume, contributing to that familiar morning stiffness that many adults over 60 know very well. At the same time, the nerves that supply the hand can become less efficient at transmitting signals, meaning the communication between your brain and your hand muscles slows slightly. This affects fine motor control, the precision movements involved in buttoning a shirt, handling coins, typing, or writing. And the blood supply to the small muscles and tendons of the hand can become less robust, which affects recovery and responsiveness. None of this is inevitable in the sense that nothing can be done. All of it responds, to varying degrees, to targeted movement, and that is exactly what we are about to do. Let us begin with the first exercise. Exercise 1 is called the finger spread and squeeze. It is a simple alternating movement that targets the intrinsic muscles of the hand, specifically the interossae and lumbricals, the small muscles that live between and around the bones of the hand itself, as well as the flexor and extensor tendons that run through the wrist from the forearm. This exercise improves both the opening and closing strength of the hand, which together constitute what we mean by grip, not just the squeezing force, but the full range of controlled hand movement from open to closed and back again. Here is how to perform it. Hold both hands out in front of you, palms facing down, fingers loosely extended. Begin by spreading all 5 fingers as wide apart as you possibly can. Reach outward with each finger as if you are trying to make your hand as large as possible. Hold that full spread for 3 seconds. Feel the gentle stretch and activation across the back of your hand and between your fingers. Then slowly bring all 5 fingers together and curl them into a firm, controlled fist, wrapping your fingers over your thumb, squeezing with moderate effort. Hold the fist for 3 seconds, then open again, spreading wide. Alternate between full spread and firm fist 10 times. Then rest your hands on your thighs for 30 seconds and repeat for a second set. As you do this, pay attention to whether both hands are moving symmetrically or whether one hand feels stiffer, weaker, or less responsive than the other. This kind of asymmetry is extremely common and is not cause for alarm, but it is useful information. Over time, with consistent practice, most people find that the weaker side gradually catches up. Move slowly and with intention. This is not a speed exercise. Every opening and every closing should be deliberate and fully committed. Now exercise 2. This one is called the wrist circle, and just like the ankle circles we explored in a previous routine, it targets the small stabilizing muscles and ligaments surrounding the joint, in this case the wrist joint, while also improving synovial fluid distribution and range of motion in all directions. The wrist is a remarkably complex joint. It is not a simple hinge. It moves in multiple planes simultaneously, and the muscles and tendons that control it come from many different directions. When any part of that system becomes stiff or underused, the whole system compensates, and compensation over time leads to imbalance and vulnerability. Here is how to perform the wrist circle. Extend both arms in front of you with your elbows slightly bent and relaxed. Make a loose, gentle fist with both hands, not tight, just softly closed. Begin rotating both wrists simultaneously in slow, smooth, wide circles, moving clockwise for 10 full rotations. Keep the circles as large and fluid as you can, moving through the full, comfortable range of motion in every direction. Then reverse direction and rotate counterclockwise for 10 full rotations. The movement should be unhurried and smooth. You may hear some clicking or feel some mild stiffness. This is very common, and in most cases simply reflects the joint moving through ranges it does not often explore during daily life. If you feel any sharp pain, stop and rest. After completing both directions, shake your hands out gently, let the fingers go loose and flutter for a moment. Notice how your wrists feel compared to when you started. Many people report an immediate sense of increased warmth and mobility after just one round of wrist circles. That warmth is circulation responding to movement. Let us move on to exercise 3. Exercise 3 is called the towel twist, and for this one you will need a small hand towel or a rolled-up cloth of similar size. Hold the towel horizontally in front of you with both hands, gripping it at each end, your hands roughly shoulder-width apart, elbows slightly bent. The towel should have a small amount of slack in the middle, not pulled taut, but not completely loose either. Now slowly begin to twist the towel in opposite directions with each hand, as if you are wringing out water. Your right hand rotates the towel forward, while your left hand rotates it backward simultaneously, creating a wringing motion through the full length of the cloth. Apply moderate, steady effort, not maximum force, but enough that you can feel the muscles of your forearm, wrist, and hand working. Hold the full twist for 3 seconds, then slowly reverse the twist in the opposite direction. Left hand forward, right hand backward. Hold for 3 seconds. That is 1 repetition. Perform 10 repetitions, then rest for 30 seconds and repeat for a second set. The towel twist targets the pronator and supinator muscles of the forearm, the muscles responsible for rotating your forearm and wrist, as well as the flexor and extensor muscle groups of the wrist and the grip muscles of the hand simultaneously. From a functional standpoint, this movement pattern is directly relevant to some of the most common daily tasks that adults over 60 report finding difficult. Opening jars, turning door handles, using a screwdriver, wringing out a cloth, operating a steering wheel. The connection between this exercise and real daily life is direct and immediate. If you do not have a towel available, you can perform the same wringing motion with your hands empty. Simply interlace your fingers loosely and perform the twisting motion against each other. The resistance will be different, but the muscular engagement is similar. Now the fourth and final exercise. Exercise 4 is called the finger walk, and it requires no equipment at all, just your hand and a flat surface. Place your right hand flat on your thigh, palm down, fingers spread naturally. Beginning with your thumb, slowly lift each finger individually off your thigh, one at a time, and place it back down before lifting the next. Thumb lifts and lowers. Index finger lifts and lowers. Middle finger lifts and lowers. Ring finger lifts and lowers. Little finger lifts and lowers. That is one pass. Perform 5 passes on the right hand, then switch to the left hand and perform 5 passes there as well. This exercise may sound almost trivially simple, but I want to give you a different frame for it. The ability to move each finger independently of the others is controlled by a specific and highly specialized set of neural pathways. The same pathways that are responsible for fine motor control, handwriting, instrument playing, and all the precise manual tasks that make daily life manageable. As we age, these neural pathways require active maintenance. If we stop asking our fingers to move independently, if every hand movement becomes a gross, whole-hand grip, those individual neural connections gradually become less efficient. The finger walk is essentially a neural exercise as much as a muscular one. It asks your brain and your fingers to communicate with precision, and precision, practiced regularly, is preserved. Neglected, it fades. As you perform the finger walk, you will likely notice significant differences between fingers. The ring finger and little finger are almost always the most difficult to lift independently. This is simply anatomy, as those fingers share more tendon and nerve pathways than the others. Do not force them, work within your comfortable range, and let the range expand naturally over days and weeks of practice. Now let me bring everything together for you, because I want you to leave today with a clear, practical picture of what this routine looks like in real life. The 4 exercises are as follows. First, the finger spread and squeeze, 2 sets of 10 repetitions, alternating between full open hand and firm fist. Second, the wrist circle, 10 rotations clockwise and 10 counterclockwise on both wrists simultaneously, performed once through. Third, the towel twist, 2 sets of 10 repetitions in each direction using a small hand towel or performing the motion with interlaced fingers. Fourth, the finger walk, 5 passes on each hand, lifting each finger individually in sequence. Done at a calm and unhurried pace, this full routine should take you between 10 and 12 minutes. It can be done in the morning to address the stiffness that often accompanies waking. It can be done in the evening while watching television. It can be done at the kitchen table, at your desk, in the waiting room of a doctor's office. There is no wrong time and no wrong place. The only requirement is consistency. Research in the area of hand strength and aging consistently suggests that adults who maintain regular hand and grip exercises show measurably better performance on daily functional tasks, report greater confidence in their independence, and in some studies show associations with broader markers of physical and cognitive health. Grip strength, it turns out, is one of the most reliable predictors of overall physical function in older adults. It is not just about the hand. It is a window into the whole body's vitality. So I want to leave you with this. Your hands have worked for you every single day of your life. They have cooked meals and held children and built things and written letters and opened doors and done 10,000 small essential acts that you have probably never once stopped to appreciate. Because they simply worked. They simply did what you asked. Today I am asking you to give something back. 10 minutes, a few times a week. 4 simple movements that tell your hands, you still matter, you are still needed, and you are not done yet. Start today, your hands will remember.